therapist and certified yoga teacher with runyogatherapy.com. Today we're going to go through a prenatal yoga flow and stretch, very, very gentle. I'm currently in my third trimester. I'll be 39 weeks tomorrow, but this is a great flow that you can do in any trimester, even postpartum. This will also take into account the amount of relaxin that you have in your body. If you're dealing with any SI joint or symptoms of SPD or symphysis, pubis dysfunction, which is pain in the front of the pelvic girdle. So a really nice gentle flow and stretch just to open up the body and sort of hit all the major muscle groups. This is also a great flow for pregnant mamas who are runners. So it's going to get sort of all the main muscles that get really tight with running during pregnancy and then again postpartum. So this is really just a great flow for anybody. So first, let's just start in a comfortable seated position. For me, I'm just on my knees. If it's more comfortable for you, you can sit in a cross-legged position. If you're cross-legged, you want to make sure that you're able to sit up tall and straight through the spine. If you're dealing with any low back or SPD symptoms, this might not be that comfortable because the legs are open. So for me, because I do deal with that quite a bit, I'm going to stay in a kneeling position. So from here, let's just close our eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale. Reach one arm out onto the mat. Opposite arm is going to come up and over for a gentle side bend stretch. And this works again, either whether you're kneeling or whether you're in a cross-legged position, okay? Don't let the arm come down this way. You want to keep the chest and the heart open, really open and stretch in the side body, opening up the space between each of the ribs. And then inhale. And then exhale and switch. So place the hand down, reach the opposite arm up and over, breathing into the intercostal spaces, each of the spaces between the ribs. And then inhale, bring the arm down and exhale. From here, come into a tabletop position. So hands and knees. Wrists, elbows, shoulders in alignment, knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet onto the mat, okay? Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. Pull the belly up and in, and then relax. This is your traditional transverse abdominis activation, okay? This is great for building, believe it or not, pelvic floor strength, even if you're not tightening through the pelvic floor. It's also great to alleviate some low back, SI, and pubic symphysis pain that you might be having. Again, inhale, and then exhale, and lift, okay? And we'll do two more here. Deep breath in, exhale, tighten the belly, hug baby into you, and release. And then one more. And release. From this position as well, we're going to just straighten one leg out behind you, keep the toes on the mat, okay? And then just stretch through the back line of the body, getting a stretch through the calf, perhaps a little bit in the hamstring. Holding here. And then gently release the stretch. We'll switch to the other side. Feel free to continue that transverse abdominis breathing in this position. Gently gently release that leg. We're going to make our way up to standing. So from here, tuck your toes under. I'm going to bring my block a little bit closer. Press up, walk the feet in, and we're going to come into a hang, okay? So I have a block here. I'm actually going to use it on the highest setting because my hamstrings are a bit tight, okay? If you don't have a block, you can use a blanket that's folded up. You could even use an ottoman or a coffee table, even the back of the couch, depending on what your hamstring flexibility is like, right? So if I were on the back of a couch or a bureau, that kind of thing. Okay, so from here, I'm just coming into a stretch. Let the head hang, nice and heavy. Uttanasana, forward fold. And you have the option of feet apart. I'll turn this way so that you can see me. So feet apart this way, so I'm about hip width apart. Or if you'd rather, you can have big toes touching and reaching down here, okay? So whatever feels most comfortable. Again, stretching out the back line of the body. Maybe even getting a stretch through the low back, hamstrings, and calves. Soft bend in the knees, roll the spine, come all the way up to a standing position. Let the head come up last. You might feel a little bit dizzy or lightheaded just from having the head hang. That's pretty normal, okay? Turning towards the front, we're gonna come into a balance. So this is a variation on tree pose, but what I really wanna do is target the quadriceps, okay? So reaching back, grabbing the foot, top of the foot, and keeping the knee in line with the standing leg. If you need some assistance for balance, you can hang on to a wall or support. And remember your posture this whole time, okay? So long and straight through the spine, holding here, bringing the heel towards the buttock. Nice stretch in the quad. You may even feel a stretch in the front of the hip flexor. Nice deep breaths. You can layer on your ujjayi or your ocean sounding breath if you're familiar with that. That's made by closing the back of the throat, breathing through the nose. And then when you're ready, I'm going to switch to the other side. I'm going to hold on for support here. So again, pulling that heel towards the buttock. Don't let the belly protrude out though when you do this, okay? So tuck the belly in, hug the baby to your spine, and try to keep this knee, tendency is to kind of come here forward. Try to keep your thighs parallel, so both knees in line with one another. Really getting a good stretch in the quads. Activate shoulder blades, so pulling shoulders back and down. With pregnancy, everything tends to sort of hunch forward this way, right? Belly gets bigger, chest gets heavier. So pull that back. And then gently release the knee. Give the legs a little bit of a shake, okay? And then for the hip flexors themselves, we'll come into warrior pose. So you're gonna slide one leg back behind you. Okay, so in a lunge position, you get a nice stretch in the calf on the straight leg. The front knee is slightly bent. Inhale, raise your arms up, tighten belly. Okay, tighten belly, tuck the pelvis down and in. You should feel that right in the front of the pelvis, okay, right in the front of the hip. You're getting hip flexors there, okay. These tend to get really tight, okay. This is also where our round ligaments sit too. So if you're having some round ligament discomfort, this is a great stretch to do as well. Hands can be on your hips or just like I was, arms up overhead. Okay, try to keep the biceps by the ears in this position. And again, we don't want this, right? We don't want belly hanging forward. Keep everything pulled, tucked, and in, okay? I'll show you from the front. So if we're coming this way, right, a lunge position, you want to try to keep the pelvis square to start. If you are really flexible and you don't really feel anything here, what you can do is side bend away from the straight leg, okay? So you get the most stretch if you're up here, and then a little tiny side bend away from that side, and you should feel that in the front of the hip a little bit more. Okay, so let's switch sides. Bring the opposite leg back. Front knee is bent, okay? And depending on your flexibility, knee can be over the ankle. You don't want to go farther than that. You should be able to look down and see your big toe here, okay? Tucking the belly up and in, getting that stretch in the front of the hip. And again, you can play with the arm position, what feels the most beneficial or comfortable for you. So arms up by the ears, that will lengthen this whole side of the body. Again, if you need a little more, slight side bend away from that side, okay? Breathing here, getting that nice stretch in the hip flexors. And then one more breath in. And exhale, release, step that foot back up towards the other foot. Last stretch here, we're going to come into half moon pose. So big toes touching, come into standing. Arms facing forward, Tadasana mountain pose to start. Deep breath in. On the exhale, lift the arms up and release the fingers up over the head, and then side bend. So again, this is going to stretch the whole side body. We're also getting the IT band a little bit. If you're looking for more for the side of the hips, what you can do is cross one leg over the other. Okay, so this is just a variation on Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. And as you lean to the side, you should feel that more through the hip and then in through the IT band. Okay, so holding here, nice deep breaths. Try not to collapse in through the chest and shoulders. Pull that top shoulder blade back and away. You'll feel more of a stretch. One more breath in. And then exhale, release the arms, release the leg. Palms forward. Inhale. And exhale, lifting the arms up and side bend. Again, you have the option of staying here, or if you want a little more, you're going to cross one leg over the other and continue that side bend. Try not to let the hips rotate, okay? That's kind of hard to do sometimes, but you want to keep both hips facing forward and side bend, so you'll feel that more on that side of the body there, through the whole rib cage and then through the leg. One more breath here. Inhale. And then exhale, release, uncross the legs, take a mountain pose, just close your eyes for a minute, take a deep breath here. And then gently release, come back down into a seated position to close up on your knees or cross-legged, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And place hands on your belly. One more breath here. Just connecting with the breath, connecting with your baby. Big belly breath, big chest expansion, and exhale. Bring the hands into heart center, Anjali Mudra. Palms pressing together, thumb knuckles pressing into the breastbone. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.